we are back in open session at 7:47. Our next agenda item is a request for consideration and possible board action on our personal term contract recommendations for our 2020-2021 school year presented by Ms. Cannon.
Yes, the recommended list as provided in closed session are for employees being considered for a term contract. These will be funded from the 2021 general operating budget.
We are on page 88 of our board book.
Was that 87?
No, we have no employment of contractual personnel right now at this time.
That's correct.
So page 88.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Motion?
I move that the Board of Trustees approve this list as presented of term personnel for the 2020-2021 school year.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Westbrook seconds. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes 7-0. All right, next is our board items for review and discussion, our board agenda planning calendar, which as of right now, we will all be at home. So there will not be anything occurring for the next month until our next board meeting, which is, I have to look, April the, okay, give me a second. I gotta look at, sorry. I don't have it written down.
21.
April the 21st, which hopefully will be a few days before we go back and meet in person for school, and we will definitely be posting if we change how our meeting is going to be run at that time, if we are allowed to all gather together like this in the next board meeting. All right, one more thing on our agenda is our overview of Senate Bill 944, our electronic communications relating to the public information law, presented by Ms. Cannon, who is handing out some papers for us at this time. She's going to give us an overview of this new Senate Bill 944. Thank you, Ms. Cannon.
Okay, so I wanted to share with you, I think we spoke about this briefly in the fall, but I wanted to share with you that we, due to some amended government codes, there are some new laws that we need to follow in regards to our messaging, especially in regards to text messages. So looking at the first slide, amended code, government code, a current or former board member who in the transaction of official business created or received public information that had not been provided to the public information officer must forward or transfer such information to the district so it can be preserved. Or you must preserve the information in its original form on the privately owned device in accordance with the district's records retention rules. So we do use what's called TSLAC as our retention codes, and anything that is in there gives us a determination on any public information, how long it has to be kept. If it's not listed in there, we're saying 1 year. So if you were to message something out that is considered public information, then you are required to say that. So going on to the next slide. So what that means for us then is our board members should be notified, which we're doing that now, not to destroy texts or emails stored on your phone only if they do contain information related to official business of the district until the information is transferred to district files. So you can save that, but if you need to turn it over to us, it needs to be available. So for example, if you're getting texts from parents and students about their classwork, if you're getting any information about extracurricular activities, and between coworkers and district officials related to district business, then you are required to preserve those messages, okay? So what does that mean? So there are some messages that are what we consider transitory or routine, and here's some examples of that you would not need to save, such as don't forget about the board workshop tonight at 6 o'clock, there's cake in the break room, I will let you know that I forwarded a parent email to you, it's not going into specifics at all. How's your day going? Remember group photo is tonight.
Which we canceled tonight.
Yes,
we
Good
did.
photo, just.
Should have been.
Still haven't had that group photo.
I will be attending honors night this evening. Can you give me a call so I can visit with you about my schedule? Those types of things you don't need to save because they're not going into specifics about an issue or a situation. Here are some examples of text that you must save. I forwarded an email to you from Ms. Jones about her son's Johnny's disability and told her to reach out to the special ed director to review the plan for Johnny. So now you're kind of going into more detail about that situation, and so you would need to preserve something such as that. Give me a call about the workshop tonight. I have a question about the RFP for the athletic supplies and equipment bid recommended for award to ABC Services. You've mentioned ABC Services, therefore you would need to save that. I think we should go with the bid from ABC Services because even though they weren't the lowest bidder, they provided the most comprehensive services. So now you're talking about district business when you go into details such as that. So how do you save? Really the best recommendation we have for us is you can actually go into your settings on your phone and you can set it to save forever so it doesn't go away. So if you haven't done that, or if you have it deleting after, a month or a week or a year, you probably need to check that setting so that if you have any currently on your phone, that you make sure that you save those. Okay, this has been in law all year, so we really do need to make sure that we're saving those text messages. Okay, if you choose to screenshot them and save them another way, you can actually save them in a Google Drive, cloud backup, or on your computer. They just have to be available if we were to ask for a public information request for those. Okay? So here's our takeaways from this. If requested through the Open Meetings Records Act, they must be a board member's personal device. They're on a personal device. You are subject to open records. This goes for employees as well, so we've already training our employees this way. Be mindful of what you text. Try to avoid discussing district business via text message. It's better just to say, hey, can you give me a call a minute? It is up to the board member to retain any record on their personal device, and most notably text messages. It's recommended that we look at your board operating procedures to make sure that this is updated in there, and we will come back and kind of remind you of this every year that this law is in place. And then we've already taken the opportunity to train Team 1 because this applies to all of our employees as well. And we have asked our Team 1 members to go back and train their staff members in this as well because it applies to every staff member we have.
So this is a modification of the training that we did for our staff. And so you talk about discussing district business. Now, as a board member, you would discuss district business outside of a regularly called meeting. But if you think about administrators and teachers, we discuss district business all the time. So we've got to make sure we're keeping that. But nevertheless, we must train you on this and make sure we understand your legal obligation to keep these texts should anything come up there. Even with, a constituent may hit you on your cell phone about something. Even if you don't engage in dialogue on that, you're going to need to keep that if they've made an overture to you about something that relates to district business. Mr. Westbrook.
No, that answered my question about if a constituent or citizen asks me something. Even if I don't respond, I still have to save it.
Yes, sir.
Do I have an obligation to notify Linda Cannon or just an obligation to save it?
You just have an obligation to save it.
Does anyone know, that this question comes all the time, if you delete an email, can an AT&T or Sprint find that? A text, can they find it at some point? Does anybody know, technically speaking?
Oh, I can find it.
You know what I'm saying? Can you still pull it up somehow?
Yes.
Just like with emails never really disappear.
Yep.
I don't know if text. Okay.
I know on
So
your,
it'd still be a save somewhere, I guess is what I'm trying to say, that if you happen to accidentally delete something, you can somehow, some way still get it.
So if we get an open records request for text messages, then how easy will it be to provide that and call your carrier, your service provider to be able to get that? I don't know how long that arduous that project is.
what you can get readily is who you've texted and called. So if you log into your account through your service provider, you can actually get going back certain months, you can actually get who you've called out, who's called in, who you've texted out, who's texted in. But the content itself, I think, would take longer to get.
And we had kind of briefly discussed a while back that at least for some staff members, would it possibly be getting to the point where it's better off if we got you guys your own cell phones that are district provided, and that way it separates things out?
As Mrs. Cannon said, we've all trained our staffs on this, and we are following the strictures of Senate Bill 944. I think we potentially identified perhaps one staff member that would be important for. Someone who deals in a lot of emergency situations and gets notified in a very quick manner. So other than that, I don't believe we've identified anybody for him that would be the most appropriate thing to do.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Cannon, for that presentation. All right, so our March board meeting is so moved adjourned. It is 7:58.